All right, good morning. We made it to Tuesday. Apparently, my little diatribe yesterday did not yet get us banned. I haven't seen any letters from YouTube's lawyers yet, and haven't been thrown off. Apparently, we appear to be on YouTube. However, amusingly, it appears that everybody that's watching currently is watching from somewhere other than YouTube. So, ma.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. We already have it. Want to become famous? Buy followers, primes, and viewers on Big... Shut up. And you are blocked. I will not tolerate people trying to sell me trash in my live chat. Speaking of trash, Colin Powell passed away yesterday morning.
Wow, I wasn't going to go that harsh with it. But, okay. So, okay, Colin Powell died, and we're going to talk about it briefly. We're not going to spend the whole show about it.
Andrea joins us on YouTube. Good morning, YouTube.
We're not going to spend the whole show on it.
No, we're not.
And we're going to mention that he was vaccinated. Just check that one off. He was vaccinated.
Yep.
Now, he had cancer. It's a comorbidity.
Yep. Ooh, he had another comorbidity.
He was 80?
He was 84.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is interesting that the vast majority of deaths from COVID...
Careful. Oh, stop. Don't make a claim about it. Don't do it. Just trying to help us out.
Hey, YouTube, the average death from COVID is older than the age of expected survival for an average American. Just saying. Do what you will with that.
They may. They may indeed. Okay, but take what you will with it, okay? He, comorbidities and vaccinated and all that. And we're not exactly... Colin Powell could have been president. You remember?
He could have.
Remember, Colin Powell could have been president.
And I had a very high opinion of Colin Powell once upon a long, long time ago.
Well, most people did. That's why he could have been president.
But then it turned out he's just a racist.
I mean, that's a large part of it. And you know what bothers me about all that is he could have just said, you know what? I'm a black man of a certain age, and damn it, I just want to see a black man win.
He did. He did say that.
No, he didn't say it directly. He said it indirectly.
No, he was very explicit that he voted for Barack Obama because he was black.
What I remember is that he voted for... What I remember is that... Because you got to go all the way back to when he testified to the UN. That Saddam had weapons of mass destruction. Remember that? Remember a large part of the reason why we went to Iraq is Colin Powell went to the UN and said Saddam had weapons of mass destruction?
And they did.
Well, again, history's a funny thing. Look at the whole thing in toto, as it were. But then...
Just real quick. That's not speculation, by the way, that they had weapons of mass destruction. I'm not going to say anything else about it because, NDAs and whatnot, but they absolutely did have the weapon. That whole Bush lied, people died thing. No, that's not how that went down.
Yeah, if I get rid of the murder weapon before you come search my house for the murder weapon.
Yeah, even when you find the residue of the murder weapon all over the factories that produce the murder weapon.
Yeah.
Aubrey taken. Where are you taken, Aubrey? You going to be okay? Do we need to come find you?
Oh, if we're going to pun off people in the chat, we've got to be able to display it on the screen so that people understand the jokes.
Oh, but, yeah, what the hell? Oh, so...
Anyhow.
There it is. Ha-ha! I fixed it.
Aha!
I don't know why it wasn't there.
Probably because you had to reboot everything a few days ago.
Probably. And the Steve joins us.
One of the Steves.
Morning.
See, okay, in all seriousness, here's how I remember things going down, okay? Colin Powell's brought into the Bush administration, and he's there for years. He's one of the main reasons, like, he gave the clout to the invasion of Iraq. And then somehow he and Donald Rumsfeld Somehow he and Donald Rumsfeld got into a pissing contest that I never completely understood even back then. Because it's like, you're the president, and you have like your cabinet and your advisors, and sometimes the advisors disagree with one another, and that's a good thing, not a bad thing. And then
sometimes two guys just happen to be pissing at the same time, and you have no choice but to examine your distance.
Again, not
sometimes there's really not more to it than that.
That's not exactly how I was going to phrase that one either. But he got into the pissing contest with Rumsfeld, and then somehow, by the end of the Bush administration, Colin Powell had flipped so hard, he basically implied that, like, Bush lied to him. And I'm like, yeah, but weren't you, like chairman of the Joint Chiefs, right? Like, weren't you, like, literally...
In that situation, one has to ask, wait. And where did Bush get his information from?
I know. Like, that always confused me. To be like, so, wait a minute. But you're, like, basically the head of the military, right? Like, the only person who could give you orders is Bush. So, how did he trick you? I'm just curious. Because I would assume you guys got a lot of those briefings at exactly the same time from exactly the same source.
Apparently you look like Hamilton. It can't be me. I look like Sabretooth.
Oh, please, no. My ex was obsessed with Hamilton. Like, seriously, the last 6 months of my marriage were Hamilton. I don't care how good looking...
Is that what happened?
It's part of what happened. I don't care how good looking that dude is. I don't want to look like him. Please.
So she's a woke scold sociopath?
She is. And look, Aubrey Taken, if you mean that as a compliment, thank you. I'd rather be handsome than ugly. But is there anybody else handsome I could look like instead of the dude from Hamilton?
No, Aubrey, we're having fun with you. Keep talking.
Oh, man. Anyhow. But then that was his justification for voting for Obama. That the Republican Party had gone so far afield and that he was so betrayed. That everything that had happened with the Iraq War, that it had destroyed his credibility, and he was just bitter at the whole thing and didn't feel like he was a Republican anymore, and that Obama had, like, the fresh ideas and everything. That's what I remember happening. Is
the fresh ideas.
That you have to...
when did Marx pen Das Kapital? How fresh is your shit? Communist.
In all seriousness, though, that's how I remember that going down. Like, it literally stretched out all the way across Bush's entire presidency, and that Colin Powell's justification for endorsing Obama was, I just worked for a Republican for years, and they lied to me and made me look stupid, which I'm still not clear on.
Right.
But...
Hey, Alex joins us. Morning, sunshine. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Up and Adam, I hope your coffee's hot.
Yes.
So...
But he died.
We've given enough treatment to Colin Powell. Not a fan.
Not a fan. Could have been president.
Not a fan of...
Couldn't stay out of the conversation, though, could
right. He? Alex Bleepin' Jones. Morning, sunshine. I can't believe you're awake.
Man, again, everybody with the headphones just went unsubscribe.
Don't unsubscribe. Okay, you're here for this voice. All right.
I'm here for this voice at like sub 90 decibels, though.
Nah. You'll have to forgive me. I'm a little hard of hearing. So, what are we talking about this morning for reals? Let's dig into...
The Biden economy?
Oh my God.
It's awesome. Haven't you heard inflation is good? That means people are buying things.
You know what? There was one other thing that I wanted to pull up. Yeah. Let's talk about the Biden economy.
Oh, man. No, he totally rescued us from a recession. Didn't you hear Mayor Pete going on all the shows yesterday? Talking about how everything that's happening is proof that Biden pulled us from the jaws. In fact, I think he referred to it as the jaws of an awful recession.
I mean, like, how stupid can you be? Guys.
They're not stupid. They're liars.
Like, right? Like, Psaki went on explaining that, oh, well, fuel costs are going up because Demand is increasing. Nobody could go anywhere last year, and now they all want to travel, and so fuel costs are going up because suddenly people are getting out of the house and buying more and more. Yeah, that's it. How much was gas before everybody was on lockdown?
Not $3
Demand
a
was
gallon
excruciatingly high
because the economy was actually on fire.
Oh yeah,
It was literally half the price.
and you know, there was this thing that happened right before the price literally doubled. Oh, Joe Biden was inaugurated as president after the military coup that they tried to pass off as an inauguration event. And I say that advisedly. When you bring in a force of armed warfighters, an occupying force of armed warfighters to a governing capital in order to conduct the changeover of power.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care what the circumstances of the electoral legitimacy are surrounding that activity. You occupied the capital with a military force.
Yeah, ask yourself.
And they still haven't taken down the chain link fences, by the way.
Yeah, ask yourself how you'd feel about this if it happened in, like, Bolivia or Venezuela or, like, any of the South American countries.
Or anywhere else that was fool enough to mismanage their fuel economy.
Oh, it's almost like you made a parallel. That was kind of terrifying. Yes. But
So,
yeah, occupied the... Look, not only occupied it, but then made the soldiers sleep in freezing garages. Remember that?
I remember that.
Y'all, concrete is cold.
I just want to remind all my brothers and sisters in uniform out there that when you took your oath, you took an oath not to the country, not to the people, not to the government, not to the president. You took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all, underline, all enemies, foreign and domestic. And you're sleeping on the job, boys.
Call that call says if everyone wore full body padded hazmat suits, injury and sickness rates would reduce drastically. I mean, I guess that's technically correct.
You know, I just finished reading this fantastic series, Zombie Apocalypse Stories, right? And main character, of course, part of the drama of the story is he loses friends and family through the course of trying to evade the zombies, trying to escape the zombie horde, and he has this long reflection where he's explaining to somebody, guys, he's explaining we're in survival mode. And what you need to understand is there are places in this world where I can go with my friends and family to relative safety. We can go way out deep in the woods in the far frozen north where the zombies can't come and get us. And you know what? We are still in an apocalyptic situation where we would be far removed from any medical help because it doesn't exist anymore. Infrastructure's collapsed. And quite simply, we could be in the middle of the woods, never see a zombie for the rest of our lives, and there will still be diseases, there will still be sicknesses, there will still be injuries that cannot be correctly treated out here, there will still be this, there will still be that. Safety is an illusion. And one of the things that will most drastically curtail that safety is the more that you craft the illusion of it, the more you reduce your functional, useful, actual life-saving vigilance.
Yeah, you let your guard down.
And complacency will devour you. So yeah, the full-body padded hazmat suits, injury and sickness rates would reduce drastically.
I mean, well,
it's awful easy to get complacent walking around in body armor and just not pay close enough attention to that IED on the side of the road. I've seen it.
So how does that relate to the Biden economy and Jen Psaki? I mean, Psaki. I'm just going to keep calling her Psaki. That's too much fun.
My Bitcoin is surging.
Yeah, but the survival, like, I'm just...
Oh,
or did
economic
you just tell
collapse
a
is
story?
bad.
Oh, economic collapse is bad. Okay, that's...
And there are things you can do to prepare yourself against that economic collapse, which are not entirely dissimilar to, full body padded hazmat suits. Bitcoin is not an absolute cure all.
Yeah, we're not giving you financial advice.
I have some Bitcoin because I had a little bit of money that I could put into it a few months ago, and that little bit of money has more than doubled since I bought back in to some Bitcoin, so I'm happy about that. Steve says beans, band-aids, and bullets. Absolutely. I have those in secured buckets.
Yes. Yeah. Though,
also, rice and flour and salt and a few other long-term non-perishables are sealed in.
I was just
not
trying
neoprene, but anyway.
I was just trying to think how you could include ibuprofen on that list. The ability to cut a fever is. But it doesn't start with a B. You should have let me finish. It wasn't alliterative. Beans, band-aids, and bullets.
Yeah, Ranger candy doesn't fit there either.
Exactly. That was. Anyhow, so Psaki and booty juice and.
Booty juice.
And the Biden economy. Oh, let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. Bitch bites. I think those are donuts, Steve. Disgusting little fat pills, right? So, okay. So how are they trying to spin it? Let's take a quick peek. Biden's economic agenda, popular when presented Democrat way. Overall, 62% of respondents said they backed the $3.5 trillion legislation. That's terrifying.
Well, that's one of those things where, have you ever seen the clip from I think it's called Ask the Prime Minister, where they're going to run a poll and the Prime Minister says polls are useless, and he polls his own aide and asks him questions in a specific order, and in one set of answers he comes to the conclusion that everybody should join the national service, and in another set of answers he comes to the conclusion that nobody should join the national service, and it's all in how the poll is structured.
Right.
And I mean, that's one of those things that's like, oh, should children never go hungry? Well, like, most people are going to say, of course children should never go hungry. No brainer. It's how you get to the children never going hungry.
Well, it's like the gun grabbers. They like to say, most Americans support a national a national background check, or support universal background checks. Like, when you ask them that question, and then you use that data to sell the idea that we need more complex and more expanded background checks, do you ask them, do you support the already extant universal background checks? Or do you ask them if they would support more restrictive gun laws? Because one of these questions is an honest interrogation. The other is clearly corrupted.
Well, I mean, but I'm just saying that it's the same thing here. I guarantee you, at those 62% of Americans, there's probably a third to 2/3 of them that don't actually support the Build Back Better plan. It's just when you pull out parts of the Build Back Better plan and ask questions about it a certain way, you're much more likely to get a yes response on those questions.
Yeah, and as long as you don't pull out, most of the Build Back Better plan. Like, I mean, what is it, $400 million for butterfly research? A large chunk for research on mussels.
Like you already switched over to something else, but I mean, the language of the article even said when presented a certain way.
Yeah, when presented in a democratic way.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, really? So we're looking at just rampant inflation.
Highest level in 13 years. You should go ahead and pull that one up so we can
look
at the Soul Stealer.
Let me just say this real quick. I saw a commercial yesterday. I was watching a little TV and saw a commercial for Amazon. And it was a hiring commercial, right? We're Amazon, we're hiring. And not only does everybody start at $15 an hour because that's what's right. Oh, you stupid, stupid, stupid people. Yes, everybody's going to be making $15 an hour. Hey. Oh, damn. I thought you were going to where the pot was. The hot pot with coffee.
No, I thought ahead.
Just go to get the second magazine. I'm out. Covering, reloading.
Bigger on the inside.
But $15 an hour. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Everybody's making $15 an hour instead of $8 an hour. Wait, my gas is doubled. My cigarettes are doubled. My groceries have doubled.
That's the killer one. The groceries.
Has anything not doubled?
You want to?
Your $15 an hour is not worth the $15 that you wanted to get paid an hour when you wanted to get paid $15 an hour.
Call That Call says people need to stop overpaying and vote with the wallet. The problem is when you go to the grocery store and things cost more, like you still got to eat.
Yep.
You know, and if you still have to drive your car, things like that. Like, ironically, your millionaires and billionaires can absorb those hits because, you know, they're millionaires and billionaires.
It's worse than that. It's not even that they can absorb the hits. It's that they are so capable to absorb the hits. You're talking about people who do not go grocery shopping. You're talking about people who have a staff that do that for them. They have a staff that do that for them, to include managing the finances that budget the purchasing power to the staff that does the grocery shopping. So they never even cognize that there's a difference in the cost of those groceries and all that. It's just part of doing the business. And so where that's a real problem is it's literally the case that by a broad majority, the people who are making the decisions that are causing the problems are in fact being affected by those problems, but they're completely shielded from the effect by the ignorance of being removed by several degrees, right? They talk to their financial advisor, and the financial advisor talks to the budget guy, and the budget guy gives the money to the grocery shopper. And so, you know, Bernie never looks at the grocery bill and says, "Why the hell did you pay $5 for a gallon of milk?"
Because that's what it costs now.
Because that's what it costs now.
I was just getting to the very people that they claim to be helping, the very people that Psaki. Can we terrify everybody now? Show her face.
And you know, I like redheads generally. This one,
I like good looking redheads.
yeah.
She
looks like a man, baby.
Not ones that. It's the contempt that she drips with. You know how sometimes, like, people's outside matches their inside? Like, you ever look at somebody and you just know they're a dick, and then they open their mouth and you're like, yep, you're a dick. And it's... That's Jen Psaki. Like, you just know she's a condescending bitch.
Yep.
And then she opens her mouth.
And God, listening to her at that press conference where she's, oh no, it's a good thing that prices are going up. You see, because nobody went anywhere last year, so the prices are going up to reflect the sudden increase in demand for fuel. No, you stupid bitch! Prices are going up because Joe Biden single-handedly decided that American fuel independence was something he should just switch off. And so he did. And the immediate result, and predictable, by the way, was that fuel prices doubled, which increased all other prices across the board, right? And at the end of the day, when all of the prices have gone up, the fact of the matter is that it is not that the prices have gone up. It is that your money has gone down in value. Your dollar is worth less money. So because the U.S. is then able to pay debt with its monopolist counterfeited and now less valuable currency at the same directed currency rate of the original acquisition of debt, now they are paying the American debt with dollars that are cheaper than those that they originally borrowed, while reducing the value of the dollars that the taxpayers hold. It is literally and intentionally a tax, stealing your wealth to pay for money that they have borrowed. And by the way, by the numbers, over the cost of the Great Society welfare state since its inception under LBJ. Almost to a penny, the national debt is the cost of the welfare state and not the cost of the rest of the management and running of a state over the revenue of tax generation in this country. So your money is being stolen at present from you to pay for people who refuse to earn money in order to merely survive, in order to merely engage in the basic responsibilities of continuing to breathe.
Yeah.
So every time you see somebody at the grocery store whip out that EBT card, you should be snorting with absolute and deep derision and contempt. They are beneath your contempt. They're not less fortunate. They're less adequate.
Yeah, so boy, that chart's terrifying, isn't it? So this is the highest inflation in 13 years. It's 2021. I'm not always the best at math, but if I take 21 and I subtract 13, I come up with, carry the 1, 8. Which means this is the worst inflation since 2008. Wasn't that when Vice President Joe actually became Vice President Joe?
It is.
It's almost like there's a predictable set of outcomes when you elect these people that say they're going to make everything fair and we're not going to leave anybody behind.
And to be clear, some of that can be laid at Bush's feet.
Well, yeah.
But Bush was a Democrat.
So Call That Call says he has no chance of being reelected, though the question is who is the next person they will bring out against Trump? That might be worth a whole show.
It might be, and it's interesting because the Democratic bench has gotten pretty thin. Thank gods. Because they're new up-and-comers, they're new rising stars. AOC doesn't have a snowball's chance of hell of being elected unless she's elected the way Biden was,
in an entirely secure election.
Yeah, in most
fortified. Right. Well, look, because what Call That Call's asking, without realizing that they're asking, is it going to be Kamala Harris? And I think that's where the meat of the show is. That would you know what? Call That Call.
President spit roast.
We'll answer that question in a different show. Oh, yeah, because, look, because this is what I want to get to, okay? On Friday, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, I'm going to call her Psaki, was asked about the historic Biden inflation. Her response, it's a good thing. I have a tendency to really dislike teeny tiny snippet quotes like that because they're almost always taken out of context. And even if they're not taken out of context, they're used to under-exaggerate or over-exaggerate what was being said. But no. And it's not just Psaki that has made this argument. Mayor Pete came back from his paternity leave. And this is the transportation secretary who took 2 months off while ships are backing up out in the Pacific.
Paternity leave. Okay, listen here, fathers.
Don't. We're almost there.
You got a baby to raise. That costs money. Go to work. You're a man.
Look, it's one thing to take a couple of days off because your wife just gave birth. It's another thing to take a couple of months off because your husband adopted twins. Just say it, okay? Oh, but in this case, no, they're actually trying to say that the rising prices and all of that are a good thing because it's proof of some type of economic activity. I heard one from Mayor Pete Buttigieg yesterday where he was actually explaining that no, this is great. This means that we're done it. We beat it. This means Joe Biden pulled us out of the nastiest recession in a decade. And I'm not, look, and I swear to you, another thing, I don't remember if it was him, I think it was him that said it, you realize like a lot of stores are going ahead and starting their Christmas sales now because they're not real sure what they're going to be able to put on sale.
Oh
at
no, they're
Christmas
real
time.
sure what they're going to be able to put on sale.
Well, no,
and it's basically nothing.
Yeah, okay, that's. Thank you, thank you.
Aubrey's still here. Yay!
Yay! It's nice to see you, Aubrey.
You know what? Okay, Mistopheles, I'm not going to address your comment, but it amused me, so I'm going to go ahead and give you the badge this morning.
Uh-oh. Did it get stuck?
The badge got stuck. Let's try that again. Thank
Top
you.
comment.
Winning the watch list.
Okay.
Polytech. Alex, abso-frickin-lutely.
Don't we have a thing to do?
Right now?
No, this evening. Let's do a crossover evening. Oh, soon.
Soon. He said soon. We can't do it this evening.
Okay. But we will do it soon.
Yeah, we're going to shoot a football game with cameras, and then we're going to go eat tacos with the Senate comedian.
So, yes. Anyhow. Oh, no, look, don't apologize. You had no way of knowing that my ex-wife was psychotic and that you were going to trigger the shit out of me by comparing me to the lead actor in Hamilton. It's my understanding he's a good-looking dude. There are worse people I could be compared to. But.
Like booty juice, for example.
And thanks for bringing that back around because, like...
Booty juice.
God, that joke is never going to get old. But no, they're actually trying to say that here's what the solution to that problem is, where you have no idea what's going to be available in December. Go ahead and do your Christmas shopping now. I swear to God, that is the well, we'll just get your Christmas shopping done early. And it's like, yeah, okay, but
I think you're missing the point. Like, people want to have pies.
And then the long-term problem, like we talked about this.
Okay, so one of the problems that we're seeing is that there's just not going to be canned pumpkin going into Halloween and Thanksgiving.
That doesn't bother me.
Well, it bothers a lot of people, but I will say this about that. Last night, I ate 2 slices of pumpkin pie, one made from fresh and one made from canned pumpkin pie filling. And just use fresh pumpkins, people.
Maybe I'll actually like pumpkin pie if it gets made with fresh pumpkin.
It'll blow your mind.
I might have to try it. I might have to try it. Steve says that is practical advice when you want to avoid the
question,
which is awesome. Well, generally speaking, it's practical advice. Like, I've been listening to talk radio for over half my life, and Clark Howard's a fixture here in Atlanta. And I've been hearing Clark Howard on talk radio for over half my life saying to get your Christmas shopping done early, that it's less stressful, and it's actually cheaper because you can plan out what you're going to buy, and you can track sales and stuff like that. Yep. The advice in and of itself, get your shopping done early, oh, that's great advice. The problem is there's still all those ships out there in the Pacific that need to be unloaded. But don't worry.
We don't even have one sideways in the canal right now.
But don't worry. We're totally making those dock workers work 24 hours a day. And I'm like, wait a minute. The people that are already overworked as shit are now the people that you're going to overwork even more, and that's suddenly magically going to solve the problem. And look, the cascade effect, we talked about this. One of the things we were really worried about was the food supply at the beginning of the pandemic, because, like, you remember the story about, like, the farmers just dumping out thousands of gallons of milk?
Yep. And slaughtering.
Yeah, and all the lefties were so angry that were like, how come they couldn't just give that milk away? And it's like, because you can't just give away thousands of gallons of milk for not just...
Oh, wait, no. You could. You could have given that milk away, except that we have an FDA that requires those dairies to pasteurize that milk. What they were pouring out was raw milk, but you have regulations in place that say that raw milk cannot be distributed.
I was getting there.
Yeah.
I promise I was getting there.
Okay. Point being, everything that you can ever point at that seems to be a failure of capitalism is not a failure of capitalism. It is a corruption of capitalism by the state, which means socialism.
So anyhow, the cascade effect here has the ability to collapse the world economy, because you reach a certain point and, like, you know, other countries, like all those shipping containers that are like floating out there off the coasts and whatever. I know you know this. I know our brilliant audience knows this, but they're out there in the ocean because they came from other countries.
Yep.
Right? Which means there are dock workers in other countries going, la, 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 I got shit piling up on my dock and don't have a ship to put it on. Which means there's factories in those other countries that have got truck drivers going, la, 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 I've got shit piling up on my dock and don't have space to take it to the seaport. The knock-on effect with all this is utterly terrifying. But don't worry, because Mayor Pete took his maternity leave.
Oh, I think I'm spent. I've got no more jokes this morning. You got anything else to add? Because honestly, I want to keep going, but I'm about to start getting myself in trouble, and I've got places to be.
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. Y'all be safe out there, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. By the way, Twitch, thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, awesome. We'll see you tomorrow. Huh?